I'm getting a dog today. I'm in the nail salon, and my nail tech has just asked me, what are you doing on this Sunday? And I tell her, I'm getting a dog today. Now, when I moved to DC, I knew that I wanted to get a pet of my own. And I had had pets when I was younger, but you know, like indoor, outdoor dogs and cats. My family did not really take care of them the way that people take care of pets today. They were kind of just like an accessory. So I knew that I wanted my own pet. Now, my first apartment I shared with a friend, and she had a cat named Smokey. Smokey was a great cat. If she liked you, you knew it. If she did not like you, you knew that too. But the best thing about Smokey is that she could tell kind of how you were feeling. So if you were feeling down, she'd come and she'd jump on your lap. Whoa. She'd jump on your lap, and then she'd start doing the kneading thing, and she'd start to purr. And you'd kind of just feel comforted and calm. So I knew I wanted this, but I knew I wanted a dog. Because I'd been going through a difficult time and I needed to kind of just get out. So I knew a dog would force me to be out and about, and I needed that comfort. So leading up to that Sunday, I did all of the things that you're supposed to do to get the dog. I was looking at various places. I found the Alexandria shelter. They had this nice little list of everything you need to buy before you adopt a dog. I bought everything on that list. And I started looking at the pictures, and I'm like, some of these look nice. I think I'm gonna find my best friend when I go. So I go to the shelter, and I tell them I'm here to adopt a dog. They take me to the kennels. And there's kennels on either side, and there's like an indoor portion, and it connects to like an outdoor portion. And I start walking, and I'm looking, and the dogs all look so friendly and nice. But I wasn't feeling anything yet. So I'm slowly walking, and I get to the end, and there's one dog I did really love his picture. But then he started to howl. And I'm thinking, my neighbors are going to kill me. How will I sleep? So I turn around, and I'm like, let me look on the other side. And I'm starting to feel a little dejected because I want my pet. I'm not feeling anything quite yet. So I get all the way to the end, and I see this silver pitty. And she's, looking at me. She's all curious. And I think I might want to, I want to play with her. But before I could say that, this fawn and white pit bull comes out from the outside portion to the inside portion. And his eyes are bright, and his tail is wagging, and he's excited to see me, and he's right at the fence, and he has these little bat ears, and they're just up at attention. And I'm like, I think I want to play with him too. So the volunteer comes, and she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to play with these two. And she said, okay, which one first? I said, him. She takes me to the room, and it's this white room. It's cold, very bright. I'm sitting on this metal bench, and I see a little toy chest, and I'm just waiting. She brings him in. She takes him off the leash. She says, have fun. He beelines past me, goes right to the toys. Toys are flying, okay? So I see all of this stuff going, and he gets this plush toy, and he pulls it out. And now he's very methodically just ripping it to shreds. I'm hearing the fabric just breaking, and I'm seeing fluff fly everywhere, and I'm thinking to myself, I have things that have fluff. I'm gonna walk into my apartment, and it's gonna be fluff everywhere. So he goes on and on. He does his little surgery with this toy. It's completely gutted. And when he's finished, he comes over to me, turns his back to me, sits on my foot, and looks at the door. And I felt it. I said, this is my dog. This is my dog. So I'm sitting there, and the volunteer comes in, and she's like, what do you want to do? And the words just fell out of my mouth. I want him. She's like, no, you don't want to play with Karma? No, I don't. I want him. She said, okay. So she took him to get him ready, and then took me to go fill out the paperwork. Before we started filling out paperwork, she leaned in, and her face got very serious. And she said, are you sure that you can keep him? And I said, yeah, why? And she said, Bowser gets very attached. A couple had him for 6 months, and they were training him, and they were doing all of these things with him, and they brought him back because they couldn't have pit bulls in the building. And he did not do well. He gets very, very attached. Are you sure that you can keep him? And I said, this is my dog. He's my dog. that's not going to be a problem. So I took him home. And that was 8.5 years ago. 8.5 years ago with this buddy. And he was a little bit older than they told me, of course, so he's now a senior dog. And, this year, he had some challenges. He had some arthritis, and, of course, I have to take him to doggy acupuncture. I don't take myself to doggy acupuncture, but Bowser's got to go. And, he had some kidney issues, and so I had to switch him to the fancy and very expensive kidney diet. Got to make sure my little buddy's doing well. But he did start to slow down, and I was getting concerned, but I was kind of thinking, he's just getting older. So I take him in for an unrelated thing, and we do some tests and find out that he has a mass on his spleen. And I had never thought that that was even something that could happen, because this is my little buddy. So I'm talking to the vet, and they're telling me all of these things, and they're telling me, all of the masses, 2/3 of them are cancerous. If you do surgery, the prognosis isn't great. It's 1 month, maybe it's 3. And, he has a lot of things going on, and he's a senior. And I'm starting to think, I never thought about coming to an empty apartment and not seeing those little bat ears. And I'm thinking, I got to do what's best for my buddy. So I'm in the ER with him, and I'm having this conversation with the vet. And then they go and they bring him out. And when he comes out, he's trotting along. His eyes are bright, his tail is wagging, he's excited to see me. He hadn't looked like that in a couple days. So I knew at that moment I'm gonna fight for him, because he's fighting for him. So I did all of the tests to make sure that he was ready for surgery, and he was a good candidate for surgery. We did the surgery. 2 weeks later, they told me that his tumor was non-cancerous. So it was a curative procedure. And that was 3 months ago. And now he's like a puppy. He's doing puppy parkour off the couch, following me everywhere when I come home. Now he's up. Before he would just kind of be sleeping, but now he's up. His little ears pointing at me. 8.5 years ago, I made the best decision of my life, and I am so thankful that he chose me. Thank you.